Good luck to you.
Yes. To you. Well, good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Live. My name is Connell Daly.
Is that really true?
Oh, wait, sorry. My name is Cam Pain.
Your name is Cam Pain because I got actually two names to choose from today. My name is both Brooklyn and Addie.
Oh, wait, of course.
Is that true?
Wait a minute.
No, let's try again. My name is actually three names. My name is Grace, Lily, and Hannah.
You don't look like
it's not.
Grace, Lily, or Hannah.
My name is Dan Druff. Do I have any Druff today? Oh, no, there's something on it, but I don't know what it is. I don't care about that. But do you smell that too?
I smell it from my house. You're all the way across town. I smell it in my house.
Oh, do you think the kids are going to smell that when they look at this?
I sure hope not. Kids, if you can smell it, put it in the comments and say, I smell that. Oh, yeah. Gross. Oh,
this is gross. So I don't know why it smells here, but it does smell. What? Anyway, we are going to bring the most important news this week.
Well, we are going to bring the most important news. You have a little bit of something on your head, though.
Let's worry about that.
Okay, let's just
on my eye. Look, don't look there.
Your eyes are down here.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's good. Good. Well, as you said, we bring the most important and good news every single week, and it seems like anymore it's so hard to find good news.
Why?
Well, we have the coronavirus that seems to be freaking people out. Dan, do you think that we have to be freaked out or worried about anything?
Goodness, no. No, we don't need to worry. But we need to do a couple of things right. Like, we need to be careful. We need to make sure that others don't get sick and that we don't get sick. But we don't need to worry.
Right. Okay. Well, what sort of things do you mean? Like, in order to keep people from getting sick, do we have to wash our hands the right way, like the way I did last week?
Remember how you did that? You went 30 seconds and you sang a song. Actually, you didn't sing a song because your voice is not particularly attractive.
Sometimes.
It's not nearly as attractive as Haley and McKenna's. I mean, they have voices like angels.
That's the truth. They have the angel voices. I've heard it myself.
Angel voices, also called, it's angel voices. Anyway, yes. And you know what? Last time we were not completely clear about whether we need to wash our wrists also. I did communicate to the worldwide renowned wrist expert, and he said it's good to wash the wrists also. So 30 seconds, hand washing all the time, at least 10 times a day. Every time you touch something, every time you do something, wash your hands. Yeah. You know why? Because that is going to help you not to get sick or not to make somebody else sick. And there's one other thing. Do you know what it is?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
I think it's a good idea not to hang out with other people these days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what we're all doing, right? We're staying at home most of the time. And do you know why that is?
Why would that be?
What do you think? You guess.
Okay, so I'm trying to put myself into my own shoes here.
Yes.
I'm thinking, all right, so right now, I'm not going and hanging out with Summer, Audrey, and Willie. Instead, I'm staying home. And the reason is because I don't want to get them sick, right?
Yep.
Okay, right. Yeah. So if I don't want to get them sick, that means that I don't want to go and see them and possibly bring them the sickness in case I have it.
But that still means you like them still, right? I mean, it's not that you don't like them anymore.
I love them.
You don't want it. We would love to hang out with them. But for this time, it's just better so we don't get sick and other people around us don't get sick not to hang out with other people. That's just about as easy as it gets.
That seems like it is. I think that is probably the greatest easiness that we can handle now. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So we can stay at home and read books and watch TV and play games and sometimes maybe fight with our brother or sister. No, let's not do that. Let's not fight with brothers and sisters.
You know what? That brings up a really good point, though, in case we do fight with our brothers and sisters, because it does happen sometimes. Do you think it's important that we forgive?
You know, that is so interesting you bring that up.
Yeah.
Do you remember that the last few weeks we always talked about forgiveness?
Yeah.
Every time we talked about forgiveness. And today we're going to talk about something really interesting. We're going to talk about what happens if you don't forgive? If you choose not to forgive, what is going to happen to you? That's, I think, is going to be the lesson today.
That's really fantastic. I think that's something worth knowing. I think everybody could use a little bit of knowledge in that department.
Probably especially during this time when we are like so close with our family and we always hang out with our family and stuff happens and sometimes we get frustrated and angry. So we need to learn to forgive, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, how about this? Kids, you guys are going to watch an awesome story. Right before the story, you're going to do a music. It's going to be so cool. We will see you sometime next week.
And it would be interesting, before we turn the camera off, it would be interesting if the kids could let us know whether they had that same smell, that smell sense that you complained about, that it stinks. That's right. If they could let us know that in the comments, I think that'd be good. And maybe they know why it stank the whole time. Because I certainly don't know.
Well, I know that you don't know, but I think we might know. Yeah. Kids, you tell us, why did it stink? All right.
Well, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
How do you handle getting hurt? I'm not talking about a skinned knee or a cut lip. I'm talking about wounds that dig deeper than that. Someone calls you a name. Your little sister takes your skateboard and wrecks it. Your favorite coach cuts you from the team. Your parents promised you a special trip, but can't afford it now. Your so-called best friend doesn't invite you to their birthday party. You start to feel like a mess inside, murky and mad and hopeless. You can't stop thinking about it, about what they did to you and how they should pay. But there's only one way to shine a light in the darkness. When you forgive, you decide the other person doesn't have to pay. You choose to let God take care of it. You say, what you did to me doesn't control me. You free yourself from bitterness. You even give the other person a chance to change. But you don't have to forgive on your own. In fact, you can. True forgiveness comes from God. He's the one who forgives us of all the wrong things we've ever done. And it's only with His help that we can truly forgive those who hurt us. Then we can say, in your love, I'm free. In your love, I'm forgiven. When you live out forgiveness, others can see God at work in you. And that's why forgiveness is an amazing way to worship God with your life. Because worship is about more than just singing loud. It's all about living loud.
You are above every other. Your love amazes me. You created every beautiful color for everyone to see. I want the world to know, I want my life to show just what your love has done for me. Good and perfect. I give you all of my praise, God, 'cause only you deserve it. I want the world to know, I want my life to show just what your love has done for me. Yeah. In your love I'm free, in your love I'm forgiven, forgiven. Your love it makes me sing, your love it gives me a reason to lift my voice, yeah. I lift my voice, yeah. I sing and dance, I clap my hands, I lift my voice, I lift my voice. I sing and dance, I clap my hands, I lift my voice, I lift my voice. In your love I'm free, in your love I'm forgiven, forgiven. Your love it makes me sing, your love it gives me a reason to lift my voice, yeah. I 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 lift my voice, yeah.
Hey party people! I'm Erica, and actually I'm planning a party to celebrate fixing up my new apartment! All month long, we've been talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is deciding that someone who has wronged you doesn't have to pay. Forgiveness can clean up some pretty bad messes, which is exactly what I've been doing around this place. So before we get this party started, I'm going to show you one last do-it-yourself hack involving my new kitchen table. My friend Chris volunteered to help me move it into the apartment, which was great of him until the incident. It was Chris's idea to turn the table sideways to get it in the door. I told him it wouldn't work, but he did it anyways and broke one of the legs. So guess what? I was right and he was wrong. Now look at my table. Meh. Ugh. So it was Chris's fault that I have to spend my whole afternoon showing you how to make a table more level. Thanks a lot, Chris. Guess who's not getting invited to the party now? It's you, Chris. Let's do this thing. Huh, that was pretty easy, actually. Let's check this out. Test 1. Test 2. Yay! Last but not least, test 3. Oh man, still pretty good. Don't think that lets you off the hook, Chris. You're still missing out on my party. Today's story is about a guy who wasn't so sure he wanted to party. My party's going to be great, by the way. We're going to have music and games and snacks. And although Chris would usually be the one to bring the snacks, plus he plays the best games and picks really good music. Ugh! If Chris isn't invited, maybe I'll be the one who misses out.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 15, verses 21 through 32.
When Jesus wanted to share something important, He often told a story to explain what He meant. Now one day, the religious leaders were grumbling because Jesus chose to bring in outcasts and people who did things wrong.
He hangs out with sinners and even, eats with them.
Jesus knew their hearts. These men thought they were better than everyone else. So he told them the story of a man and his 2 sons. Now the youngest son asked for his share of his father's money, and he took off. He spent his money on parties and all other stuff. But then the money ran out, and he ended up at a miserable job feeding pigs, while he himself starved. Desperate, the young son returned home, planning on begging for mercy and working as a servant. Instead, his father welcomed him with open arms and even planned a party for his lost son in his honor. Ultimately, it seemed like a happy ending. But Jesus wasn't finished with the story yet.
The older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing.
If Jesus were to tell that story to us today, it might sound something like this. The older brother, let's call him Will. He spent the entire day working hard, perhaps plowing up the packed dirt on a brand new field.
Come on, Bessie. Just one more row. Gotta finish before the light goes.
As the sun slipped behind the hill, Will finished breaking the dirt on his last long row.
I just need some water and a quiet meal and bed.
Will trudged slowly back to the house and left Bessie in the barn with a bag of oats.
If my slacker brother hadn't run off, I wouldn't have to work so hard.
As Will neared the house, he was surprised to see the lights blazing from every window.
What is going on?
Will stopped, trying to make sense of all the activity and the music. Then, the back door opened. One of the servants stepped outside to throw out a bowl of scrap, and she turned to go back inside.
Wait.
The servant paused.
What's happening?
It's just the party for your brother.
The what for my what?
You haven't heard? Your brother showed up this afternoon. Your dad had the fattest calf killed and roasted to celebrate. He is so thankful Jake's safe.
A party? My dad is throwing a party?
I'll let the family know you're back.
What? No. I am not coming in.
The servant wrinkled her nose.
Whew. You want someone to run you a bath first?
Leave me alone.
The servant hurried back inside. Will paced as his exhaustion vanished and anger coursed through his veins.
I work all day. Every day. Has Dad ever thrown a party for me?
Will stalked back and forth, fuming, as the back door opened up again. His father hurried out.
Will, here you are.
Well, look at that. You decided to remember I exist.
Your brother is back. He's okay.
Well, that is just fantastic.
We're all celebrating, but it's not complete without you. Come on inside.
Will turned and looked directly at his father, eyes blazing.
All these years, I've worked non-stop for you. I've done every single thing you asked, and you never even given me a goat to have a party with my friends.
You never said you wanted.
This son of yours runs away with your money and wastes it like a fool. Then he shows up and you roast a fatted calf and throw a giant shindig.
Will's father sighed, took a deep breath, and looked Will directly in the face.
My son, you are always with me. Everything I have is yours, but we had to celebrate and be glad. This brother of yours was dead for all we knew. And now he's alive again. He was lost, and now he is found.
Look, I'm real tired. I plowed the entire north field.
Thank you.
I think I'll just go to bed.
Won't you come into the party? Just for a few minutes.
Will hesitated. He could see the people through the window, dancing, eating, full of joy. The light and the music called them.
Please, Will.
We don't know if the older brother ever listened to his father. We don't know if he ever forgave his younger brother. We don't know if he chose to go and enjoy the party. But what we do know is that if he stayed outside, he missed out on many good things.
The older brother in Jesus' story totally missed out. Being right was way more important to him than repairing the relationships with his father and brother. The father, on the other hand, forgave his son and threw a big party! Forgiveness is something we should celebrate. Think about it. In the beginning, God decorated for the biggest party ever when he made paradise for his people. But over time, people got further and further and further away from paradise. So, God sent Jesus. Because of what Jesus did for us, we can be forgiven. Jesus even said that when someone turns to God, there's great joy in heaven. Maybe like a party! When you forgive someone in your heart, that's worth celebrating. I mean, forgiveness can save relationships. It can even make someone else feel like they matter. And forgiveness can take the weight off your shoulders too. But when you hold grudges and you don't forgive, you can miss out on all that stuff. That's why the one thing to remember today is this. When you don't forgive, you miss out. So, of course, I'm going to forgive my friend Chris for breaking my table even though I was right and he was wrong. I don't want to miss out on our party. And I definitely don't want to miss out on our friendship. That's way more important to me than being right. Well, that's all for now. I've got to go get ready for a party. See you around.